Yeah, so I get punished for King of the Ring. I'm not going to be King of the Ring. I'm out, all that stuff. Who they put in that spot is sort of coming out of similar thing. The ringmaster, Steve Austin, who's just like this technically gifted wrestler. Steve hates it. Steve goes and pitches to Vince. I don't like this character. I want to do my own thing. Stone Cold Steve Austin starts to form. So they take me out of the spot. They go with Steve. Steve wins King of the Ring and cuts the Austin 316 promo.
Well, keep in mind, he's going against Jake the Snake, who at the time became very religious.
Yes.
Which is a really important thing to understand.
100%. So there's signs everywhere, John 316, in support of Jake Roberts because he is very religious, because he's sort of reformed.
Evangelical.
Maybe drug addict at the time.
Yeah.
And so Steve goes out there and cuts this Austin 316 promo, which at the time, I believe, Vince was pissed about and hated it. You crossed the line into
You're
religion.
insulting people's religion.
Yeah, like this is terrible. It's all this thing. And I believe they went with the Austin. Everybody else was like, not everybody, but there's a few people who were like, I'm telling you, did you hear the reaction? It was great. They made the first Austin 316 shirts as Vince was like, I make those shirts. I guarantee you none of them sell. Make them. And they did it, and then they sold, and Vince was like, "This is great." Now he ran with it.
But the line was, he goes, yeah, you got your John 316. Well, Austin 316 said, I just whooped your ass.
Yes.
And it's just off the cuff.
Yes.
If he's wrestling anybody else who's non-religious, he never says it, and then he ends up becoming. That is like the defining.
Yes.
Line, I think, for Stone Cold's character.
Yeah,
100%.
Like Austin 3, like I just
to this day, Austin
316.
to this day, Austin 316 shirts are still one of our biggest selling.
What?
I think people know Austin 316 more than John 316. Like the world is more aware of Austin 316. I don't know John 316 to this day.
Yeah, I don't know it at all.
Yeah, I don't.
And I started watching for like a few years in the Attitude Era after the Austin 316, and I'm not a Christian kid, so I was like, "What is that? Like a time of day that he beat somebody up?" We're like, "What's going on?"
Now it's become a date. 316. It's Austin Day. Like this.
Okay.
To talk about cultural relevance, right?
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what's happening? You're watching this transpire, right? That's supposed to be your shot. You're supposed to have that moment. You're supposed to cut some promo.
Yeah, Hunter 316.
That's
what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but here's the
Are
thing.
you pissed? Is there a part of you that's excited for him? Have you accepted a different fate?
Steve was one of the few guys. Like Steve, when I started in WCW, he was there stunning Steve Austin. He's in the middle somewhere, and but he was one of the guys that was like, I'm a new kid coming in the door, and that's at that time especially very tough in the business, breaking in, and I'm young and trying to get started. And Steve was one of the few guys that would talk to me a lot and like come over and say like, hey dude, I noticed you were doing this. Maybe try that, whatever. Like,
dude, this is, and the parallels with comedy are funny because I remember every like OG comedian that was nice to me coming up.
Yeah, that was kind to you, that helped
because
you.
there aren't a lot.
Right, exactly.
They are not a lot. And far more just ignore you or you're in the way and you remember those moments.
You're just ignored.
Yeah.
And so Steve was one of those guys. So even when Steve came in and, I liked him a lot and it's a weird thing in the business. Like once that wasn't happening for me, I just put it out of my mind. And I was happy for Steve. As my career progressed later, it's a funny thing how life works. Like, I look back at that now and I think, if I wasn't ready, I fucking wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And I thought I was.
Yeah.
You always think
you always think you are.
right?
Yeah.
And you believe that you're ready. I was not.
Yep.
If they would have put me in that role, I wouldn't have cut my version of an Austin 316.
Yep.
I wouldn't have been ready. It would have floundered, and I probably would have.
It's a great way of looking at it.
Yeah, and I know that now. I can look back at that and say, like, I was pissed at the time, or I was upset or disappointed. I was using it to fuel me to do other things and become something more. But the truth is, I would have fucked that up.
Dude, knowing failure, getting comfortable in failure is very liberating. Because
100%.
when you only know the rise and the success, and you have some success WCW, then you come over to WWE and you're starting to rise, and then all of a sudden you get the King of Ring, and then you're online to get the belt, and then you get the belt. You constantly have this monkey on your back where you're like, fuck, what if it all goes away? But once you've accepted it all going away,
it's already gone away. And what happened? I just came back from
Yeah, it was fine.
exactly.
Yeah, I just worked through it.
So now you have that courage to be like, okay, I'll go heel. I'll fuck it up all over again. Where I bet a lot of guys, and I'm curious your take on this, but like they're at the top, they're a babyface, and they're probably reluctant to go heel because they might go, what if I never get this chance
Play
again?
safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Well, you also get guys that are petrified
Of being booed.
of being a babyface, because if you're a babyface and they start to boo you, you're failing.
Oh, that's a different pressure.
If they
Yeah.
boo you as a bad guy,
You're doing
It's
good.
Yeah.
it's easier to make somebody pissed
Yeah,
off
yeah.
at you. I actually even
Yes.
I've even thought about this.
well,
like,
and even just
yeah.
think about it this way: if you're trying to piss them off, but they start to like you,
Awesome.
It's why you find a lot of cool bad guys.
This is DX.
yeah,
Like,
be-
weren't you
because-
guys supposed to be kind of heel, and then you start bullying the baby faces, and then you guys kind of become baby faces?
Well, we were bad guys, and then Sean gets injured and Sean leaves, and I reformed the group with these other guys.
Right.
In that moment, we almost like they're so excited to see the group carry on.
Yeah.
And the stuff we just transitioned who we were doing it to the other side, and WCW at that point in time is on the attack. We DX do the unthinkable, and we go to their show. I go to their show with a fucking tank and my crew, and I'm firing shots at with fake shots at the building, and on a megaphone, yelling at their fans, and we're outside and it's like a riot. Right?
Okay.
We go to their shows, unthinkable, but it made us like the coolest,
The real badass.
Yeah, and now like, hey, these degenerates that 6 months ago we hated, and literally Sean and I had gotten to a point where we had some riots in towns because people didn't like us so much. Now all of a sudden we're like as popular as can be because we're defending the brand.